Finally, I managed to gather all 7 Dragon Balls. Now it's finally time for me to grant the wish that I've been wanting for so long. Shenron, rise! Shenron, I wish to lose 5 pounds. Yes, only 5. Because anything more will be too noticeable.
A foolish choice, but very well.
Worth it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm Robert Storm. If you're finding me for the very first time, be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. So Broly is the newest movie in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, and I have to tell you, I left theater thoroughly entertained. I was thoroughly entertained. I enjoyed myself, had a great time with this movie, and to be honest with you, it was touch and go in some spots. There was a lot of stuff I really enjoyed about this movie, and there was some stuff that I didn't enjoy, but later after thinking about it for a while, I was actually okay with it. So first off, I just want to say that this movie sort of retcons some stuff from the past, especially going on with, you know, King Vegeta, what happened on Planet Vegeta, and with Bardock. So if you are like a big fan of that, which I am a huge fan of Bardock, especially the Bardock movie, The Father of Goku, I love that movie to pieces. If you're a fan of that, you might not like some of the changes they did with the Saiyans and Bardock, but you have to also realize that that stuff wasn't canon. And if you sit back and think about that as the fact that that was not canon and this is canon, then you really start to be able to adjust to the newer versions of these characters. Me, for one, I didn't necessarily need to see Goku's mother. I didn't need to see Bardock and his wife send their son Kakarot in a spaceship like Superman. I didn't need that whole Superman scene. There was a lot of explanation in the beginning of this movie, and I think that's what really slowed the movie down a little bit in the beginning, was because they spent so much time on Planet Vegeta and explaining Broly and Broly's father. But then when you leave the movie, you realize that helped expand Broly's storyline. And I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that Broly was what we always wanted Broly to be. He's the same Broly, just minus him yelling Kakarot every 5 seconds, which I personally enjoyed. Before the movie even started, I was running around the theater going, Kakarot! But I still had a great time with this version of Broly. And they do something at the end. When I was leaving the theater, I heard a lot of people talk about, well, they really didn't like the ending of this movie. They didn't like how it ended. And I can tell you one thing, it does leave off in an odd choice. I don't know if I would personally have chosen them to leave the movie off like that, but if they decide to do a sequel or another story in this chapter, then I can see where they build upon this. And I think that's the smart thing. I think this is a good first chapter. Whether or not we get a second chapter, that's yet to be seen, but I think this is a good stepping stone, and they can really build upon this, whereas in the first Broly movie that we ever got, we got a different version. Like, it was a complete story, where this one, they're sort of setting stuff up for the future, which I think is smart. Akira Toriyama's smart by doing it that way. And a lot of people might have some complaints the way Broly was kind of portrayed in this movie, but let's look on the bright side, guys. He's been portrayed a lot worse. Yeah, we don't talk about that. But honestly, I like the way Broly was portrayed in this movie. I like the way Frieza was in this storyline, and Frieza played a huge part of the Broly storyline, and some of the things he does is completely questionable, and he's just a rat-headed bastard like he always is. The movie in general, was it entertaining? Was it worth the money? Will I see it again? And the answer is yes to all that. The movie was entertaining, the movie was fun, action-packed, the fight scenes were fantastic, the animation, the idea of going back to the original style of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I thought worked brilliant in this movie. The art was so good. There are some parts in this movie that you can see the animation changed a little bit. It was almost like there's 3 different animators working on it. We have the old school animation, then it like changed to like this real funky and like Doctor Strange special effects animation, and then there's a couple animations that just look like the first season of Dragon Ball Super, which is just awful. But that's really small portion compared to the entire movie. So overall, I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Out of the 3 films that we got in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, this is by far my favorite one. I can't wait to see how they incorporate this in the series. Are they just gonna let the movie be the movie, or are they gonna do like they did with Battle of the Gods, Resurrection of Frieza, where they retell it differently in the show? I can't wait to see what happens next. I think the movie left off on a great note for a second part, and hopefully it will be better than the sequels that we got for the Broly movies and the DBZs. Let's just hope, right? So overall, I enjoyed the movie. Can't wait to see where it goes from here. Did you guys happen to go check out the Broly movie? Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.